Today, we're going to talk about one of the most critical and honestly most fragile points in our entire global system. It's a single spot on the map that holds an incredible amount of power over the world's economy, a place you've probably heard of, but maybe don't realize just how important it really is.
I want you to just imagine for a second. What if one single, narrow passage of water could basically hold the keys to the global economy? This isn't some kind of movie plot. It's a reality we live with every single day.
And this isn't something that used to happen. It is happening right now. A constant, massive river of energy is flowing through this one spot, and it's what fuels pretty much everything in our modern world.
All right, so let's zoom in a little bit. Think of this place as a fragile artery. It's the absolute lifeblood for global trade and energy.
Our story really starts here, in the Persian Gulf, a region that is just overflowing with energy resources. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. There's a single geographical bottleneck that controls how all that energy gets to the rest of the world.
And here it is, the Strait of Hormuz. It's the solution and the problem, all rolled into one. You see, it's the only sea route out of the oil-rich Gulf. It's the one and only exit door for a huge chunk of the world's entire energy supply.
Okay, to really get a handle on how important this is, we've got to talk numbers. And honestly, this is where the sheer scale of this choke point becomes kind of mind-boggling.
Every single day, something like 21 million barrels of crude oil and other petroleum products squeeze through this narrow strait. That's just an incredible volume. It's a literal river of black gold, flowing 24/7.
So what does that number actually mean for the rest of us? Well, it means this one little passage handles nearly a third, think about that, a third of all the oil that travels by sea anywhere in the world. It all gets funneled through this one narrow channel.
So who's on the receiving end of all this oil? Well, it's the world's biggest economies. We're talking nations like China, India, Japan. They all depend heavily on this constant flow of energy to power their industries, their cities, you name it. Any disruption here isn't just a headline, it's a direct threat to their entire economy.
And you know, this naturally brings us to the most critical question of all. We see the dependence, we get the huge volume, but now we have to talk about the immense risk that comes with it.
This is the absolute nightmare scenario, the thing that keeps strategists and economists up at night. What happens if something, absolutely anything, were to stop the flow of those tankers through the Strait of Hormuz?
Because the second that flow stops, a chain reaction kicks off, and it's predictable, it's fast, and it's devastating. The whole system is just that fragile. And you have to understand just how fast this all happens. The route gets blocked. Boom. Right away, tankers carrying millions of barrels of oil grind to a halt. The global supply of oil takes a massive instant hit, and the financial markets, they react in seconds.
And that's just the beginning. That initial blockage, that's what triggers a true global shockwave. The physical problem in that one waterway immediately starts to spiral into a worldwide economic crisis. So, first things first, the supply. With nearly a third of the world's seaborne oil suddenly just gone from the market, the world faces a massive supply crisis. There's just no way to fill a gap that big that quickly. The alternative routes and reserves just aren't there. And then, of course, you know what happens next. Basic economics kicks in. When supply craters and demand stays the same, prices explode. The cost of gas for your car, the cost to heat your home, the energy that factories run on, all of it would just skyrocket almost overnight. It would impact every single one of us.
And that price shock doesn't just stay at the gas pump. It ripples out across the entire global economy. All of a sudden, businesses are facing insane costs. People stop spending money, and the financial markets just panic. The risk of a full-blown global recession becomes incredibly high, and it all started with one event in one narrow strait.
So what's the big picture here? What does all this really tell us? Well, this isn't just about ships and geography. This is about understanding the very system of global power and how it actually works.
Here's how the whole chain of influence works, laid out pretty simply. The physical flow of oil, well, that directly determines the price of energy for everyone. That energy price, in turn, is what fuels the entire global economy. So, whoever has influence over that initial flow holds a massive lever of global power.
It really all boils down to this one simple, powerful truth. In the world we live in, controlling these critical energy choke points isn't just about logistics. It's about controlling the entire system.